Hey guys, this is CJ with RZRtracker.com and the Get Tracking Network. In this demo, I'm going to show you how to set up notifications and geozones for your devices. First, this is your dashboard. This is where when you log in, the first screen it comes to. On the left-hand side, you'll notice your list of vehicles. Right here, I've got a 700 series trailer tracker and a 300 series RZR tracker. You see these square boxes next to them. You can click them, and they will highlight that tracking device. You can zoom in on this device, which this one's placed in my garage. And as you can see, as I zoom in, it shows in my garage. You can hover your mouse over the top of it and get the time and date, the last time it checked in, address, and geo coordinates listed below. You can drag the little Google guide to get a street view of where that item's located. So that's going to show it right there in my garage. It's a little off on the map. We'll press the back button right here. Now we're going to do the same thing for the 300 series, which is actually in my boat in my other garage. And you see it loads it. We can zoom in on it. And there it is in my other garage in my boat. It last checked in with a scheduled check-in at August 19th, 2018 at 3:27 a.m. That was early this morning. Drag the little Google guy over here, and you can see that it's inside the garage. Now what we're going to do now is show you how to set up notifications for these devices. These are going to be the same for the trailer trackers as well as the RZR trackers. It's pretty easy to do. Right up here at the very top next to your dashboard titles, it says Notifications. We're going to click that. We're going to go to this Add New Group Notification button because you can see that I don't currently have anything listed here. So we're going to click the orange button, and what it's going to do is populate this with your email address, phone number. If it doesn't, just go ahead and type your information in. Now where it says carrier here, this is your cell phone carrier. So whatever your cell phone provider is, that's what you're going to select. Now I use AT&T, so that's what I'm going to select. Now there has been rare cases where a customer has a very local small cell provider. We can try to get them added on there. It's about a 50-50 chance on getting it to work, but you have all these list of providers. All your major brands are up there and working. So I'm going to click AT&T, and what I'm going to do over here is there's no, under the selected vehicles, there's nothing, but I need to select one of these vehicles. So I'm going to click this green plus sign next to the 300 series device, and you'll notice that it populates a list. This list is of text message and emails that the tracking device will send you at given criteria. So every minute to every 15 minutes your device is moving over ground, you will get a vehicle is moving alert. If I want that, I can click it. What I would suggest doing is just clicking just about every one of these on our right hand side, which is entering sleep mode, tow, low battery, tow stop, tamper, which is going to be if the device is ever cut or it loses power. Tilt alert, you probably don't want to click that because you can get a lot of tilt alerts on a ride if you're in a lot of bumps. And you click device awake. Now once you get a lot of these messages, you may want to come back here and adjust these to where you're not getting so many alerts. And usually what I would tell people is turn entering sleep mode off and just do device awake. And the rest of these on these side, you can do scheduled check-in. This means you'll get one somewhere around every 25 to 48 hours. And that's pretty much all I would personally do. When you're done, just press save and update, and it saves those settings. What you can do now is you can press edit or delete, or you can even add another one. So you see over here on the left hand side, I have two devices still, which is the 300 series and the 700 series. Now say for my 700 series, I want to do a list of notifications as well. They're going to be different than what the 300 series are. So I'm going to click the plus sign next to it. And there's not as many options. That's because this device doesn't use as much battery power as the 300 series device, so you get a little less features with it because it tries to preserve that battery. But the important ones are going to be your 5% battery remaining alert, recovery mode cancellation, low battery alert, and stop at impound lot. those are probably the ones I would do. You could probably do, if you do scheduled check-in, you will get one message every 25 hours letting you know where the trailer is at. And that's probably the only ones I would do, but you can set these up to how you like it. All you gotta do is press save and update now. Oh, we need to select the carrier, which is AT&T. And that's done. Now I've got messages set up for my 700 series trackers and my 300 series tracker. And that's all there is to adding notifications and setting your notifications up. Your GeoZone takes a little more work, so we're going to go through that real quick. Scroll up here to GeoZones and press that. You'll notice I don't have any current GeoZones listed. So we're going to go to Add New Group, or Add New GeoZone. It doesn't have my information populated in it, so I'm going to title this Home. Put my email address, my phone number, and my cell carrier, that is who provides my cell service. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the map, and this is kind of the hard part. There's a little hand right here. I'm going to click it so that I can drag the map around. I'm going to double click kind of on my area and keep adjusting the mouse. All right, we're good and zoomed in. I'm going to turn this to satellite mode so I can kind of see where the house is at. So now I see where my house is at. I'm still selected on the hand. And I want to set my GeoZone, and I don't want to set it too big because I want to know pretty quick if my vehicle has left my property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here on the rectangle. You click that, and it changes to the crosshairs on your mouse. I want to set my GeoZone about the size of my neighbor's property and mine put together. That way, if the satellites, if you have low satellite count and the device checks in, you don't get a false alert. After I've selected the area, a pop-up pops up that you'll need to enable your entry and exit alert. So I'm going to enable entry and enable exit. I'm going to leave lot management blank. We don't use that, and press OK. And now my GeoZone's set. Now, even though I did all this, I need to add the vehicle to the selected vehicle list. So I'm going to press this green plus sign, and you'll notice that the 700 series device isn't listed because that device doesn't support GeoZones. So now I've got my 300 series device up here, and everything is good to go. I can press save and update. Now what's going to happen when I press save and update right now is it's going to try to send this GeoZone that I drawed to my device. It's going to physically send that information to the device. Now the device is currently in sleep mode because it hasn't vibrated or had any voltage change in the last 10 hours or so. It goes into sleep mode after 15 minutes of sitting still to preserve your vehicle's battery. So if I press save and update now, it won't be able to receive it, and it's going to say unsuccessful. So when you set a GeoZone, your vehicle has to have been recently moved or still moving, or maybe the key ignition turned on so that there's been a voltage change. You can simply go out and shake the cage, and it should turn on after about 30 seconds. So this is just going to be a demo of me pressing save and update. It's going to say unsuccessful since the device isn't on. And it could take up to 2 or 3 minutes. It's going to say that it's going to cost settings sometimes. With your devices, it's unlimited, so you can just press never show me this again, and yes, you want to set your GeoZone. So even though this message is going to say unsuccessful, it will keep the GeoZone listed up top after you're done. This process can take anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes for it to decline the action. But that is all that you have to do to set a GeoZone. Now, if you primarily use your phone to set your GeoZones with the lock feature, you will need to enable the quarter-mile GeoZone in the notification settings so that your phone can utilize that feature. Now right here it just says unable to verify action on the device. Because the device isn't turned on, it can't verify that it accepted the geodata. So I'm going to press close. Now I can go back and press edit and say right now you went out and you shook the cage of your vehicle, it turned on, you're able to send a locate now command to it to verify that the device is awake. You can come back into the GeoZone notification, scroll down to your area, and what I like to do to make sure it accepts that command is I like to slightly change the size of my GeoZone by just a little bit. We might drag it, 10 foot back, and then press save and update again. And if the device is online, it will say successful whenever it sends this command. But again, my device is still asleep, so it's just going to say unable to verify the command on the device. And that's all it takes to set the GeoZone. I'm going to show you one other thing here in a second when this gets over with. And it's about the history, which is on your dashboard screen. Come on. Okay, so it just said unable to verify action on device. We knew that was going to happen. So we're going to go back to your dashboard tab, which is going to be the picture of the United States map. And we're going to select, say, the 300 series device. Now the drop down will show us the last action, this little cog right here, which looks like a gear, that will tell you the last type of command received, which this is entering sleep mode. It did that at 3:27 a.m. Well, say you want to know why it entered sleep mode. Let's look at the history of the device by clicking on this binoculars and file folder where it says vehicles history. We're going to select all actions, events, and alerts so that we can see all the commands. I'm going to change how many it's going to display to 500. Now, I know I haven't pulled my boat out of the garage in probably 2 months or more, so I'm going to actually change this start date back to probably 2 months. 1, 2, we'll go June 1st. And now it says June 1st to August 19th, and then I'm going to press submit. What this is going to do is it's going to query the server and pull all that data. So right now, what you're seeing, these first results are the two times I tried to send a GeoZone command, and they failed, so that's why it says command failed. The next one was where it entered sleep mode at 3:27 a.m. And the reason it entered sleep mode is because the device became awake, it did its scheduled check-in, and then it entered sleep mode 15 minutes later. So you can kind of see it here where it did that. I'm going to scroll back, and you can see that the device is checking in on a normal basis. It should be about every 25 hours that it does a check-in. It could be longer if the device had a command. I'm going to scroll back to where I see where last time I pulled it out of my garage, which is pretty far back, right here. So the last time I took the boat out of my garage was somewhere probably on 6:30. But you can see the different commands that were happening, which is vehicles moving because I was driving from the lake. So what I'm actually going to do is scroll back a little further to whenever I pulled it out of the garage. And I'm going to actually start selecting these. And whenever I select these, what's going to happen is it's going to place a pin drop on the map of where I've been in the past. And as I drag it up here, back to the top, you'll notice that it shows me going from my house and the roads that I took in 15-minute intervals out to where I stayed at the lake. So I'm going to drag the map over and zoom into it. So right here is where we stayed at the lake. We've got a little cabin out here that we stay at, and that's exactly where we were at. There's a little cabin right next to these trees here, and this is where I spend my time at the lake with the boat. Now I will zoom out and let's look at the trailer tracker. I'm going to do my trailer. I'm going to search for it, and here's the RZR demo trailer. Now this is currently at my family's storage lot, and that's where we're storing it. Now I know that my brother-in-law has used my trailer in the last week or so, so I'm going to view the history of it. Now this tracker is not in active track mode, so it doesn't track every couple of minutes, every 15 minutes. It's just doing its regular 25-hour check-in. So I need to change my start date back. We'll go to the 1st of August. We're going to select all events, actions, and alerts and submit. And now you can see everywhere it's been in the past. And so it's kind of changed around. We're just going to go ahead and click on all of these that we see here real fast so that it puts a pin in the map. You'll notice that it says stopped at impound lot. I'll show you here in a second that right next to our storage lot there is a car lot that a tow company uses. So it actually thinks that our storage lot is an impound lot. Oh, here's something I can show you real fast. So I let my father-in-law borrow the trailer, and you can see that it was at his location, at his house. When I zoom into it. So this is where my father-in-law had put my trailer when he was unloading a car that he picked up. So that's it right there. Now we're going to zoom out. Number 8 is at my house whenever I had my trailer there. I'm going to zoom back into the storage lot to show you. Okay, so down here by the mouse, you can see a bunch of cars. That is the tow company's storage lot. Whenever CalAmp, the maker of the device, makes the zones where it thinks impound lots are, it included our storage lot as one of those places. So I actually get 2 messages per day telling me that it's in a storage lot and an impound lot, so that I'm not getting charged fees for being impounded. You can see the device kind of jumps around a little bit. That's just because when it turns on, it looks for the best signal it can in a given time span, and then it turns off to preserve the onboard battery of the device. The device battery should last between 6 and 7 years, depending on how you're using it, and if you ever go into active track mode or not. Now I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to go up to where my brother-in-law's car lot's at. And this is actually kind of I wouldn't call it a bad area, but it's by the airport. It's kind of a bad area on the bad side of Tulsa. So we're going to scroll back in. And here's the device at my brother-in-law's used car dealership. And you can see the device kind of checks around. They store my trailer inside the garage whenever they're using it. So sometimes the accuracy can be off whenever they store it inside the garage, which is probably this 21 and 25. But it's right around the area where it's always been. So, and that's pretty much it for the device, seeing the history, putting them all on the map, and going from there. If you guys have any questions, just give us a call and let us know. I am CJ Stevenson at RZRtracker.com and the Get Tracking Network. Thank you.